For decades, stepping into a movie theater meant entering a silent dream. The visual language of the screen was disconnected from the physical sounds of the real world, accompanied only by a live pianist or a full orchestra playing in the dark pit. By the late 1920s, the industry was desperate to give its actors a voice. The public's first major exposure to synchronized dialogue arrived with the Vitaphone system. But the Vitaphone was entirely separate from the actual film. It was a massive wax phonograph record that projectionists had to play simultaneously alongside the movie projector. This setup tethered two highly fragile, independent machines together. It did not solve the problem of film audio. It merely bridged the gap with a precarious mechanical compromise. Operating a dual system setup left theaters exceptionally vulnerable. If the celluloid snapped and required a splice, or if the projector motor fluctuated in speed even slightly, the visual timing drifted completely away from the audio track. The records themselves were just as precarious. A single heavy footstep in the projection booth could cause the needle to violently skip across the wax grooves, instantly detaching the actors' voices from their lip movements on screen. This placed immense pressure on local projectionists. They spent their shifts sweating in tight booths, constantly monitoring and manually adjusting two drifting machines to keep the illusion of reality intact for the audience. Reliable cinematic sound wasn't a matter of artistic performance or projectionist skill. It required a physical union, fusing the audio directly into the structure of the celluloid itself. While major studios poured money into mechanical discs, a studio executive named William Fox rejected the cumbersome method entirely. He placed a massive wager on an alternative technology developed by inventors like Theodore Case. They called it the Movietone system, and it discarded phonograph records completely. Their elegant solution was the optical soundtrack. Instead of keeping the audio on a separate physical medium, they embedded the sound directly onto the 35mm film strip itself. By removing the secondary mechanical device, the audio and the image were forced to share the exact same physical space. Where one went, the other had to follow. Physical sound waves from an actor enter a microphone, where they are instantly converted into a fluctuating electrical signal. Inside the camera mechanism, that electrical signal feeds directly into a tiny glow lamp. The bulb flickers, growing brighter and dimmer in exact proportion to the frequency and volume of the original audio. As the blank 35mm film rolls past, this flickering light focuses into a tight beam. It exposes a narrow strip along the edge of the celluloid, literally painting the sound as a continuous pattern of light and shadow. On this developed film strip, you can see the results of that recording process. The distinct, jagged lines running vertically down the left side, right next to the empty frames, are the trapped audio waves. To actually hear those printed waves, theaters had to reverse engineer the entire process in the projection booth. Inside the projector, a constant beam of light shines through that optical track and hits a photoelectric cell. A photoelectric cell is a component that generates an electrical current when exposed to light. This cell reads the flickering shadows and translates them back into electrical signals for the theater speakers. By trapping sound inside a beam of light, the Movietone system engineered a playback method where losing synchronization was mathematically and physically impossible. Embedding audio onto the film strip introduced an unseen advantage in the editing room. An editor could physically cut a scene and know the sound would be perfectly sliced and rearranged right along with it. This unified format freed early sound crews from the claustrophobia of heavy, soundproof studio bunkers. Movietone equipment was robust enough to be made fully portable. With mobile camera setups, Fox Movietone News brought the acoustic reality of world events directly to local theaters. They documented extreme, real-world environments, capturing everything from busy city streets to the plains of the Bird Antarctic expedition. This technology moved cinema out of the soundstage, turning it into a documentary tool capable of capturing the spontaneous roar of history as it actually happened. By 1930, the format war was over. The logical superiority of the optical track rendered the Vitaphone disc entirely obsolete. The Movietone method became the universal standard across the industry because of its unbreakable sync, its superior durability during shipping, and its seamless international distribution. The foundational logic of a locked, unified soundtrack stems entirely from this specific engineering leap. Every digital audio timeline we use today is an echo of that physical celluloid strip. William Fox's gamble on trapping sound in a jagged line of light gave the movies a voice and a soul that was perfectly, permanently in sync.